Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Match Reaction. Lincoln 1, Chelsea 2. I'm back in the hotel, and I tell you what, yes, we are through to the next round, and ultimately that's the only thing that matters. But my God, that was an absolutely shocking performance. Awful, awful, awful from Chelsea. Lincoln made it difficult for us. Maresca went with a strong lineup. Enzo Fernandez captaining the side, Andre Santos playing, Gittins, Garnacho, Buonanotte, Fofana and Chalobah at the back, Gusto playing. This wasn't a load of academy kids out there against a League One side. This was, yes, a rotated side, but a side full of internationals, full of quality footballers. And yet we looked like we were the League One side, particularly in that first half. It took us about 10, 15 minutes to even get out of our own half into the Lincoln half. Chalobah and Fofana struggling to play the ball out from the back. We were almost a goal down instantly. Lincoln hitting the post in the first couple of minutes. Jorgensen at sea. He's awful, by the way. Awful, shocking goalkeeper. Taking out Fofana in the opening minutes. Looks so uncomfortable every time a ball comes into the box. He's flapping at it. He's missing it. He's coming out when he should stay. He's staying when he should come out. The goalkeeping bar is in the depths of hell, because I'm sitting here saying that I'm looking forward to Robert Sanchez coming back in goal on Saturday. Yes, you heard it right. I'm looking forward to Sanchez coming back in goal on Saturday against Brighton. That's how bad things are right now. That's how bad that Jorgensen performance was against Lincoln. We just couldn't get going. You know exactly what these teams are going to do when you go to these away grounds in the lower leagues. 10,500, small ground, fans close to the pitch, making a lot of noise. Fair play to the Lincoln fans. They were absolutely superb tonight. And the players have got nothing to lose. This is arguably one of the biggest games in Lincoln's entire history, and they're bang up for it. Nothing to lose. They're going to be putting the tackles in. They're going to be physical. They're going to be giving you no time on the ball. They're going to be putting balls into the box, long throw-ins, corners, sending the ball in, whenever they possibly can at any given opportunity. And every time the ball went into the box, you felt concerned. You felt like something was going to happen. You felt like there was going to be a problem. And that's not good enough from a Chelsea perspective. Defensively, again, poor. The goal that we conceded, another individual mistake. The 2 goals against Brentford, shocking defending. The 3 against Bayern Munich, shocking defending. The 2 against United, shocking defending. And yes, the goal we conceded, shocking defending. What Enzo Fernandez is doing, an experienced footballer, a World Cup winner, you're told not to play that sort of pass across the box in like under 5s, under 6 football. And yet he still does it, plays a looping ball across the box. Chalobah, again, an experienced player. Instead of going to the ball, he waits for it to come to him. The Lincoln player is alert, nips in ahead of him, and before you know it, it's in the back of the net and it's 1-0 to Lincoln. And it's no more than they deserved. They thoroughly deserved that lead. That first half performance is one of the worst halves of football I have seen from Chelsea in a long time. It was worse than what we saw against Man United in the first half. No attempts on target. Players going through the motions. Body language off, looking like they're above this kind of game, looking like they don't want to be there. Everything was wrong from minute 1 to minute 45. The team were booed off the pitch by the fans at halftime, and rightfully so, because that was atrocious, nowhere near good enough and nowhere near the standard expected when you wear that Chelsea shirt. It was poor. You could have made 5 subs at halftime quite easily. The only players in the first half that really kind of did anything were Garnacho and Gittins. At least they tried to make things happen. And funnily enough, that's the only area of the pitch where there's really any serious competition is in those wide areas. And I think that was quite telling from everyone else's performances compared to the effort that those wide players were trying to put in. Half time, I'm sure Maresca read the riot acts, got angry with the group. We were out early on the pitch for that second half, a good few minutes before Lincoln. He didn't make any changes. And in fairness, the second half, we started really well. Tyreek George with a lovely finish on the half volley, pretty much straight after the restart. And then Facundo Buonanotte getting his first goal, a nice little interchange of play with him and George. And then he rolls it into the back of the net, into the corner. And he's sort of thinking, right, it's 2-1 now. We're going to go and kill this. We're going to win this 3-4-5-1. But no, We didn't create that many other chances. Lincoln, again, putting us under pressure. Balls into the box. We're struggling to deal with it. Physical. And yeah, that for me is a major concern. You know, they had a number of opportunities in the second half where they could have equalised and the ball had just dropped for them a little bit more kindly. We struggled. We really did. Hato was okay. I wasn't particularly impressed by what I saw from him. Chalobah and Fofana were solid enough, and it was good from Fofana's perspective to come through 90 minutes, you know, play 2 games in the space of a few days after so long out injured. That sort of bodes well. Gusto was poor in the first half, but he improved in the second half. I felt Andre Santos was probably arguably Chelsea's best player on the night, although the bar's pretty low. Garnacho, a few nice bits here and there, but again, I don't think anyone who started in terms of kind of the players that came in, the more of the rotation or fringe players as such, no one really staked a claim to say, do you know what? I should be playing more. I should be starting in the Premier League. Gittins didn't do that. I don't think Garnacho did that. George didn't do that. Hato didn't do that. Yeah, Buonanotte didn't really do that either, although he was okay. I just cannot believe how poor the performance was. We hung on in the end. Obviously, Esteban came on, looked sharp, looked exciting. We need to see more minutes from him. Neto was all right. But the fact that we're having to call on the big guns from the bench in a game like this, it's not good. It really isn't good, guys. You know, you've got to be doing better than that. You have to be doing better than that. And this was a concerning performance. And I'm worried about Saturday. Worried about Saturday against Brighton. Because, you know, these are the kind of games that we have to be winning after the drop points against Brentford and the drop points against Man United. We've got to win this game against Brighton. On the evidence of the last 3 or 4 games, our performances, I can see us majorly struggling to win that game against Brighton. And that already at game week 6 is pretty much a must-win game. But look, guys, I mean, it was so bad. It was so bad. I honestly could not believe what I was watching. Chelsea looked like the League One side and Lincoln looked like the Premier League opposition. I mean, I just don't know what's happening to the level of performance. Because the players are good, but they're certainly good enough to be putting in a good performance against a League One side, and yet no one really particularly impressed whatsoever. It's an opportunity to be grabbed by some players. They should be playing more, and no one made the most of it. No one made the most of it at all. Maresca probably be fuming. Look, he knew he expected a tough game. We should have got. We knew what they were going to do, and we should have been more prepared. And it clearly looked like we were not prepared, which is a concern in itself. But we are in the next round. The road to Wembley is still on, but we need to start playing a lot better than we have in the last 4 matches, because in the last 4 matches, the performances have been absolutely nowhere near good enough and nowhere near the standard expected and nowhere near the standard that we've seen that this group of players can produce. Yes, it's important that we gave some senior players a night off. You know, that's going to bode well and should serve us well, hopefully, you know, for the next few games coming up before the international break. But yeah, it was a night to forget for Chelsea. It really was. Poor performance. And again, head scratching. More questions than answers, as is too often the case when it comes to Chelsea Football Club. But yeah, guys, that's my thoughts on the performance in general. It was terrible, but we're through. And that's ultimately all that matters, as I've said. So guys, please smash the likes. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe if you're new around here. Would greatly appreciate it. And I'll catch you lot again in another one soon. Up the Chelsea, and we're out. Peace.